Picture this. It's June 28th, the Peacock Theater in Los Angeles, the biggest night in black entertainment. The lights go down, the crowd goes quiet, and then out walks a man in a fake pastor's robe, sunglasses, and an absolutely unhinged expression. And 10 million people watching at home lose their minds simultaneously. That man is Druski, Drew Desportes, a 31-year-old from Maryland who started filming skits on Instagram in 2017 with zero budget and zero connections, and is now about to host the 2026 BET Awards, the youngest host in the show's 25-year history. He didn't just arrive at culture's biggest night, he crashed the door down. You're listening to The Runway Talk. I'm Michael, and today we're talking about what happens when the internet takes over TV, and why it might be the best thing that's ever happened to the BET Awards.
On April 30th, BET officially announced that comedian and digital creator Druski, real name Drew Desportes, will host the 2026 BET Awards airing live on June 28th from the Peacock Theater in Los Angeles. With that announcement, he broke a record that has stood for 15 years, becoming the youngest host in the show's history, eclipsing none other than Kevin Hart. With me today to break down what this means for Druski, for BET, and for black comedy as a whole is entertainment industry analyst and cultural critic Linda Osei. Linda, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Michael. And I have to say, this one I'm genuinely excited to talk about.
Let's start from the top, because I feel like a lot of people know Druski, but a lot of people don't know his whole story. Linda, set the scene. Who is this man and how did he get here?
Right. So Drew Desportes, Druski, was born in Columbia, Maryland, and is based in Atlanta, Georgia. He started posting comedy skits around 2017, and what made him different from the jump was the specificity of his characters. He wasn't doing generic jokes. He was doing a fake record label executive running terrible auditions. He was doing a clueless hype man at every event. His Could Have Been record series became a phenomenon because anyone who's been around the music industry or even just watched enough reality TV recognized those characters immediately.
And then the celebrity cosign started happening.
Exactly. Once people like Drake and Jack Harlow started putting him in their music videos, it legitimized him to audiences who might have otherwise scrolled past. He appeared in Drake and Lil Yachty's Oprah's Bank Account, then Jack Harlan's Churchill Downs and Churchill Downs. These weren't cameos. He was a central presence. That global exposure turned a viral sensation into a recognized name.
Fast forward to 2026 and the man is everywhere. He's doing commentary for The Voice. He just dropped a conservative women parody in March that went, and I cannot stress this enough, nearly 200 million views on X alone. And now this. On April 30th, BET made it official. Druski is hosting the 25th BET Awards, making him the youngest host the show has ever had. He beat out Kevin Hart's record from 2011. And honestly, the internet did not stay calm about it.
Over on social media, people were going absolutely wild. Fans on Instagram were saying things like, "Nobody is safe, equal opportunity roasting." One comment that I keep seeing everywhere, "We back, all in the living room watching the BET Awards, just like the old days." And that line hit me, Linda, because that's the thing BET desperately needs. People wanting to watch again.
That's the key insight right there. The nostalgia factor is real, but it's tied to something bigger, appointment television. Award shows have been hemorrhaging viewers for years. The Grammys, the Oscars, even the VMAs have struggled. The BET Awards have held up better than most because of their cultural specificity, but they still need a draw. Druski is a draw.
Okay, so here's where I want to push a little bit, because not everyone is sold. I was reading the thread on the Collie, which for the uninitiated is one of the biggest black entertainment forums online, and the reaction was mixed. Some people were hyped, others were like, he's funny in skits, but does that translate to a live stage? That's a fair question.
It's the right question, and I want to be honest, hosting a live award show is a completely different skill set than posting a 2-minute video. You're dealing with technical delays, celebrities who don't stick to the script, a global broadcast audience, and the pressure of delivering in real time with no edits. Those are high stakes.
So what makes BET confident he can do it?
A few things. First, look at his track record. He hosted Billboard's 2025 #1's live stream and came through. He's gone on tour with major artists and performed live in front of massive crowds. He has improv instincts that most rehearsed hosts don't. Carr Lamarre, Billboard's senior director of R&B and hip-hop, put it well. He said Druski has the ability to tap into every genre, every market seamlessly, which is rare. Most internet comedians stay in their lane. Druski crosses them.
And BET's leadership is clearly leaning into that. Connie Orlando, the executive VP of specials and music programming at BET, said, and I'm paraphrasing here, that Druski has a unique ability to connect with audiences through humor that feels both fresh and deeply rooted in culture. That's not just a PR quote, that's an actual diagnosis of what he does.
And Luis Carr, the president of BET, framed it as a generational statement. His line was that partnering with Druski reflects our commitment to elevating the new generation of comedians who are redefining how audiences engage with content. That's BET saying out loud, we know where the audience is, and we're gonna go get them.
Here's the stat that I think says it all. Druski has over 31 million followers across Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Twitch. The BET Awards, on a good night, draw somewhere around 3 to 5 million TV viewers. His existing audience dwarfs the show's typical reach. If even a fraction of his online fan base tunes in live,
the numbers shift dramatically, and that's the gamble BET is making. They're not just hiring a host, they're importing an entire audience.
Let's talk about the announcement itself, because even how Druski told the world was a masterclass in staying on brand. No stuffy press release. He dropped a video with a list of rules for the night. He told Jamie Foxx to take that big-ass hat off. He told Sexy Red no leggings, rompers, or bodysuits. He told the YNs to take the ski masks off. And for the megachurch pastors who've been sending him DMs and threats after his viral pastor skit, just leave it up to God. We gonna lock them doors and can't know what you get out.
I mean, that is a man who knows his audience. He's doing 3 things in that video simultaneously. He's being funny, he's setting expectations that this show will be different, and he's doing free PR for every celebrity he name drops. That's not an accident. That's a sharp comedian who understands the machine.
I want to zoom out for a second because I think there's a bigger story here that we haven't fully said out loud yet. This isn't just about a funny guy getting a gig. This is about what it means when the internet produces a star that the traditional entertainment industry has to come to. Think about it from Druski's perspective. He didn't come up through SNL. He didn't get a late night deal. He didn't have a manager with Hollywood connections when he was filming skits in his apartment in Atlanta back in 2017. He built his platform one video at a time, one character at a time, until the culture decided this man is ours.
And that path is important because it's replicable in ways the old paths weren't. The gatekeepers used to be network executives and casting directors. Now there are still gatekeepers, the algorithm, the virality machine, but they're at least accessible. A kid with a phone and a perspective can, in theory, build what Druski built. He proves the model works.
He's also on the Forbes Under 30 list. Rolling Stone named him one of the most influential creators. In 2025, he became the first comedian ever to cover the Billboard No. 1's issue. These aren't internet accolades. These are industry recognition saying this man has crossed over. Fully.
And now he's hosting the BET Awards in the show's 25th anniversary. That's not a coincidence. BET knows the symbolic weight of who they choose for a milestone anniversary. They could have gone safe. They went Druski. That says something about how seriously they're taking the next generation.
All right, June 28th is coming fast, so let's talk about what people should be watching for. Linda, what makes or breaks a BET Awards hosting performance?
The monologue. That's the first 5 minutes. It tells you everything. If Druski comes out and lands his opening, the whole night shifts. The audience relaxes, the energy locks in, and the celebrities in the room know they're dealing with someone who's got control. If it's shaky, if it feels more like a skit than a live performance, you'll feel it.
And what should fans actually look out for? Like, what specific Druski elements would you want to see on that stage?
His character work, the makeup transformations, he has a makeup artist who can turn him into convincing parodies of public figures. That's Kiwi gold in a live setting. I'd also watch for how he handles the unexpected. Award shows always have a moment, a speech that goes long, a technical glitch, a celebrity who says something off script. How Druski navigates that in real time will define his legacy as a host.
Here's the bigger question I keep coming back to. Does this moment, Druski at the BET Awards, represent something permanent? Like, is this the proof of concept that internet native stars don't just feed the machine, they become the machine?
I think it might be. And what's interesting is this isn't a fluke hire. BET looked at their audience, looked at the landscape, and made a strategic decision. The next generation of viewers grew up watching Druski, not watching traditional TV. If you want those viewers back, you have to speak their language. Druski is their language.
And the flip side, the thing that nobody's saying but everyone's thinking, is that if this works, every major award show is going to start looking at internet comedians, streamers, content creators as viable hosting candidates. The Grammys, the VMAs, maybe even the Oscars someday. Druski at the BET Awards could be the door that opens all of those.
All right, let's land this plane. Here's what we know. On April 30th, BET announced that Druski, Drew Disboards, 31 from Maryland, will host the 2026 BET Awards on June 28th at the Peacock Theater in Los Angeles. He is the youngest host in the show's 25-year history. He beat Kevin Hart's record. He has 31 million followers, nearly 200 million views on a single sketch this year, and an announcement video that itself became a cultural moment. The internet is going insane. The culture is locked in, and nobody knows exactly what he's going to do when those cameras go live. That's the point. If you've never watched the BET Awards, June 28th is the night to start. 8 p.m. EST on BET and simulcast on MTV, VH1, Comedy Central, Nickelodeon, and a dozen other networks. Set your reminders. If this episode hit different, share it. Send it to someone who needs to know about this moment. And subscribe to The Runway Talk wherever you get your podcasts. Linda, last word. What's your one big take?
My take is this. Druski didn't wait for an invitation. He built something so undeniable that the invitation became inevitable. That's not just a story about comedy. That's a blueprint. And on June 28th, the whole world is going to watch him execute it live.